The internet just got a fresh new take and perspective on gameplay details a few days ago at the time of this write-in with the Resident Evil 9 Requiem showcase. Boy oh boy, we also got some crispy details pertaining to Leon and Grace, from some sick new finishers that splatter my brains all over the walls like how Leon does to those poor zombies, and how Grace section is taking everything back to the drawing board. Today we're going to be gathering, analyzing, and going over everything that was witnessed in Resident Evil 9 showcase, so strap in, it's bingo night. So right here, as we can see again, just like the last trailer, they're showing files of the virus Elpis. Now, for this codex code, I tried going through the internet to see if there's anything that I can find, maybe information that is stored within the hexadecimal numbers, but unfortunately so far it's just gameplay aesthetic for now. Maybe one of your big brains watching this could cipher it, but if you find something, let me know in the comments. And to the left of the codex, we have more files that are more than likely to go over the new virus Elpis. We've seen this in the last trailer as well, and I think the main thing that's super important here is what the effects of this new virus is in the game, as the X-ray focuses on the brain, which we'll go over very soon. Now, I skipped the Porsche. We all love the Porsche, but what I really like to talk about is this screenshot right here. This is what will probably be the entrance to Road Hill Chronic Care Center, where Leon gets a tip or discovers where Grace is. Probably before the scene in the last trailer where an assistant of Gideon seems to invite Leon into the Chronic Care Center. This style of entrance is such a huge nostalgic hit because it reminds me of Resident Evil 1 so much. Even so that if you actually look closely at the statue on the right side corner, it closely resembles the one in the exhibition room where you have to push a crate to receive the map of the mansion's first floor, or most likely an asset flip from their previous remake, Resident Evil 4. Capcom isn't shy from using the same material spread across multiple games. Either way, it's still pretty cool if you ask me. Now here's where things get really interesting. While we can assume this is just Leon driving regularly on his porch on his way to save Grace, let's think outside the box for a minute, because what the hell is that on his neck? So I did a little research and took to the internet to see what I could find, and it turns out it's just a hickey. And plot twist, it was Ada that left it. No, I'm just kidding. But if you notice, he does not have his jacket on. Also, doesn't he look a little sickly? Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, let's just continue and find out more. Just come with me, strangers, don't worry. Now, there isn't much to be analytical about here, but I'm super stoked that we're getting the best of both worlds with this next installment. Being able to experience Resident Evil 2 and 4 in one game is literally a treat. I really hope to have a big Resident Evil 1 influence in this game as well, keeping my fingers crossed for puzzle to be a bit more challenging. Now right here, they begin to showcase more elements of finishing moves you can utilize with Leon, kicking zombies into the wall, then breaking their skulls and repainting the whole wall red. Love it. It's said that Leon will have tons of finisher depending on the game's environmental engagement, just as what we see, for example, if an enemy is against a wall, Leon will kick the shit out of him into it and breaking his skull. After that first finisher though, going into the next one, I was curious about the posters in the room that seemed to be a lab of some sort. You can see an ammo casing in the shelf right there, obviously indicating you'll be exploring for resources. But back to the posters, while it might not be much, the self-care hexagon poster could be a key piece of environmental storytelling, likely referring to the game's main setting, a massive care center or a hospital facility. The phrase self-care is probably used with a dark ironic twist within the game's context, as the facility is a place of horror rather than healing, just like all the Resident Evil titles before this one. Community analysts suggest that the hexagonal emblem might be related to a specific puzzle mechanic or the facility's architectural layout. Overall, so far, it means nothing but a spoof of real world's problems and quarantine practices, but you'll see them spread across the trailer, so comment how many times you called it. Yeah, while all cool details, it really have nothing of significance yet. Now, the environmental details of this game looks phenomenal. The atmosphere is peak Resident Evil. Besides the cool piano, marble floor, and beautiful details of the interior design, look at the antique coin that's placed right on top of the piano as Leon sneaks past it. If you guys remember, the antique coins were used in Resident Evil 7 and 8. For 7, it was used for the bird cages, but in Resident Evil 8 to be sold for the Duke for coins. Does this mean that the Duke could be making a return, or maybe a trusty purple wearing trench coat companion? Now we finally get a deeper connection with what we are dealing with when it comes to the new virus and retaining memories. I want to make a call back to the theories people were having about Lisa Trevor being the enemy that chases down Grace when first being shown in the original reveal trailer. The big focus on the new enemy variety is the retention of humanity that they try to grasp, as shown in the trailer. Whether it's talking, cleaning, cooking, whatever, there is a resemblance of humanity there. This is a similar situation that happened to Lisa in Resident Evil 1. When you're reading her notes throughout the game, you can kind of see an ounce of human slowly fade away from her. Lisa Trevor, compared to regular zombies in RE1, 2, and 3, was the human nature element of it. This could even further deepen this theory that maybe Lisa did survive and her genes in the virus evolved to something different, grown into what we know as Elpis. Once again, we can see that beautiful hatchet in action, this time having the ability to sharpen it, thus repairing it in the process, like Resident Evil 4, instead of repairing on the go. Now I wonder if we'll also be able to put the knife into use as well. Either way, I'm more excited about the fucking chainsaw. Seeing it in demonstration, you could tell that the chainsaw will be a one and done type of deal, allowing you to have a few uses before discarding it for obvious reasons, one being a balanced gameplay style. Now, while the Requiem gun looks amazing, I wonder if it'll play a bigger role somehow at the end of the game, something like the rocket launcher in Resident Evil 1, or many other guns that you get that you can only use once at the end of the game. But in this case, you'll be able to use it at any time throughout the game. Who knows? Just a speculation. Now, remember when I was talking about Leon having that mark on his neck during the scene when he was in his car and his jacket was off? Now, we're doing a circle around right here. What piques my curiosity in this segment is what they are showcasing. And why would Grace be experimenting with a cure if it's not to save her own, but who? If you analyze the rest of the trailer, you can clearly see when Leon first enters the estate at the beginning of the trailer, he clearly has his jacket on. Then later down the trailer, he loses it. Something in the likes of Resident Evil 4. And in Resident Evil 4, we know what happens to Leon and Ashley. They both get infected. So let's see if that kind of has some kind of similarities. Now, the title of the part of the showcase is called What is Elpis? Which is a curious one, if you ask me, because why would Koshi say there's a secret that Leon has, right? Why would this pertain to Elpis? How could that pertain to Elpis? This tells me that there's a huge reason for Leon being in the game other than just to kick ass. Remember, there's leaks before this saying that there will be a main character who dies. Some fans speculate that Leon could possibly be the main character. Some fans also speculate that Leon himself could be a final antagonist boss fight and you battle at the end of the game. I mean, like, could you imagine a zombie infected Leon like Krauser from Resident Evil 4? Just roundhouse kicking your ass? That's insane. But what we are being shown in this trailer, especially right here, there's no doubt in my mind that Leon is once infected again, and it might be his last in a bad way. And finally, we get a new look at a brand new enemy, or the same one we've been shown to stalk Grace throughout the game, maybe in a brand new form, stating towards her or Leon that I won't forgive you. Now, this can be the same monster, but looking and comparing both together, there's a huge difference between the two. This one being heavier looking in nature, so I'm curious if we're going to be getting a much more abundance of stalker enemy types of this time around in Resident Evil Requiem. So what do you guys think of the Resident Evil Requiem showcase? Are you excited for Leon's return? Do you wish another protagonist was able to make a return? I'll be replying to everyone in the comment section, so make sure you bring your wares, stranger. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell to be alerted for my next upcoming video. Want to know more about Fallout 3 and New Vegas leaks? Well, click this video right here on the right. Well, Sleepy Gamers, count your sheep, catch your Z's, and go to sleep. Peace out.